here we are on Sucky Hall Street in Glasgow, outside the ABC, where you're about to play tonight. You played Edinburgh last night. Now, how was that? Any weird tales?
Well, we played in Edinburgh in a place called the Picture House, which is a brand new venue. We christened it last night, in fact. And they were great. Really, really, really good venue. No
near crashes on the way home, disasters, scrambling in.
There was a worry actually in the venue at the end, because we got a mass pogo going on at the end of the show, and the guy who, well, the people who sort of ran the venue were worried that the balcony would have collapsed.
Really?
Yeah.
Brilliant. What a story.
It's an old building. Travis, bring the house down.
We were there to road test the building, so we've tested it. It's all fine.
It works.
You can go and watch.
It was being heavily stomped on, was it? Like Carling Academy in Glasgow?
We played a French place. Can't remember what it was called, and I bet the ceiling fell off when we had the mass pogo.
Yeah.
Not inside. It's like outside the venue, but we managed to make a bit of the ceiling fall off.
So were you worried about that last night, just in case it repeated itself?
No.
Take it calmly and coolly.
Yeah, these venues are proper old school. They won't fall to bits.
I mean, you've seen things in your careers. I mean, you've seen things of all sorts of kind of things,
yeah.
And you've had various experiences. I mean, I remember I was at a gig that you were playing at. You were kind of busking it on the street, and a guy was flashing a syringe about. Do you remember that? So, was that the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you, or have you had stranger things still?
I've had the syringe pulled on me, and I had a knife pulled on me in New York. Yeah, that was the kind of when 1999, and this guy came up and he wanted me to sign his manhood, and I said, "There's 4 letters in my name. I don't think I'd be able to fit it on there." And he took what's the word,
umbrage, yeah.
Umbrage with that, and he pulled a knife, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And then he ran off, and then the cops came and they arrested him, and that was dramatic. It was kind of cool though, because it's weird. You just don't, when you're in a band, you really don't worry about that kind of thing. It was funny seeing, not funny, but it was odd to see Noel getting pushed over the other week, because
you
like,
feel safe on stage, don't you? You know, it's
the safest place in the world. And if you're in Oasis, you've got like 20 bodyguards, and I don't know how that guy got through, but he,
apparently he was meant to be hiding underneath the floorboards or something like that. I don't know whether that was just one rumour that was circulating.
They give you a real fright, because you do, as we were saying, you do feel safe on stage. It's a place where you think, right, this is my area, you know. So
injury-wise, you've not sustained that many on stage, have you?
I really hurt my knee once at the SECC, and I had it for a year. I tripped over a cable and fell against a speaker and cracked my knee, and Andy fell off the stage in Germany.
Fell off the stage in Germany, twisted my ankle in, what was it, Oxford or something?
Yeah. Oh God, that was horrible.
It was about that size.
He came off stage and it was like was
it like Misery? You know, when the foot goes at 90 degrees.
It looked like that.
It looked a lot worse than it actually was. It was just a really bad sprain, but they were giving me gas and air, so I wasn't really that bothered. I was just like, hello.
Okay, so watch your footing tonight, and we don't want anybody sued.
You fell over last night.
Yeah, I fell over at the third song. I fell over last night, which, you know, I suppose it's better than the first is bad.
Yeah.
How did you manage to fall over?
I jumped in the air and slipped in a lead and just went completely flat on Mars, and I'd lay there for the rest of the song because I didn't know what else to do.
Did anybody notice this? Because I don't think it's been in the reviews today.
We all sort of looked around and saw Andy lying on the ground, and I just pretended. I thought he's fallen over, so I just pretended it was meant to be like that, and just pretended it was. Otherwise, I was just about to burst out laughing, and I thought, no, don't laugh.
See, the only way to get over it is to make it part of the show. I'll do it again tonight, and then everyone thinks it's something you intended to do.
What was the song as well?
It's Selfish Gene, through Selfish Gene. So if I fall over through Selfish Gene tonight, it's all on purpose.
Right, okay, you have to keep that act up, definitely. Okay, so let's come to Ode to J.Smith. Yep. You've had great times recording the album. What, in the studio this time round, what was different for you? I mean, obviously different music and all that.
The interesting thing about the studio this time was that there was absolutely no pressure at all. Tiniest bit of pressure being that you had to record the album, but generally pressure in the studio arises from not having lyrics finished or arrangements finished. You have to do it all in the studio, and but we sort of put all of the preparation before the studio, we wrote the album, and then we went out and toured it for 5 gigs in little secret places all over. And so by the time we went into the studio to record it, it was like we just had to play it like it would be on a stage or whatever, and then do a few overdubs and make it sound like a record. And it was like being on holiday camp. It was so much fun, and we did it in London in the Rack Studios. And we were just, playing loads of jokes on each other and giving each other fright. Well, I was giving.
Okay, go on. Tell us about the frights and the jokes. What, do you stick microphones to super glue with hands?
No, speakers hidden under the floorboards and things like that. It was quite elaborate, really.
There was a house next door to the thing, and there was a space underneath the floor, and we found this big speaker, this self-amplified, and we attached it with a wire, and made the wire invisible with it round all the floorboards, and up over the windowsill and out through the window, and then closed the window and attached it to their computer, so you could sit outside the house and control this speaker from outside.
In the house got freaked out. We got all these sounds off the internet, like sort of werewolves and scratching and things,
and moaning, like women crying.
You must have been well bored to have done this, or had a lot of spare time.
Recorded so quickly.
It was like we spent about half the time doing silly things and half the time making the record. It was very, very laid back and fun.
Was that kind of almost doing your first album then? In the, there was no pressure really.
The first album there was, because we'd never done it before, and I didn't know what. None of us, and we were in America as well. We were in Bearsville in upstate New York with Steve Lillywhite, and so it was all quite intimidating. And but this time it's like, you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing by your 6th album, then you should have been paying attention.